Starting the show with our continuous coverage of the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. In the latest airstrike, Israeli army has killed a Palestinian militant in the West Bank. The attack on the Jenin refugee camp also injured 8 people. According to Israeli army, a fighter jet and helicopter conducted the strike targeting a compound used as an operations center by the militants. The armed wing of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group named the killed man as member Islam Qamisieh. Israel said that Qamisieh was responsible for several attacks against Israelis. An Israeli army handout video shows an airstrike on buildings, an explosion and smoke rising. IDF said that the strike was carried out to remove an imminent threat. The Palestinian Health Ministry said that the 8 people wounded are in stable condition and receiving treatment at the hospitals. Meanwhile, Israeli forces continue to battle Hamas fighters in Jabalia in northern Gaza in some of the fiercest engagements since they returned to the area a week ago. Footage released by the Israeli army shows what it says are troops operating in Jabalia in the northern Gaza Strip. Local residents said that the Israeli armor reached as far as the market at the heart of Jabalia, the largest of Gaza's 8 historic refugee camps, where bulldozers demolished homes and shops in the path of the advance. Israeli military said it returned to Jabalia to prevent the Islamist group's regrouping. In southern Gaza, an escalating Israeli assault in Rafah has sent hundreds of thousands of people fleeing, while Hamas militants on Friday attacked tanks that were surrounded the Rafah area, where Israeli tanks and troops have been operating at a military base near the Kerem Shalom crossing. At this crossing, trucks bound for Gaza are held for inspection. Well, images released by Hamas's armed wing, the Qassam brigades, it shows what they say are fighters targeting Israeli vehicles and soldiers with mortar shells in eastern Rafah. Israel says it must destroy Hamas network in Gaza for the safety of its people, especially after the death of 1,200 people on October 7th, and to free the remaining 128 hostages still held by the militants. So far, at least 35,000 Palestinians have been killed in the ongoing war. Meanwhile, humanitarian aid has begun to arrive in Gaza using a US-made pier. People of Gaza rushed towards trucks carrying aid delivered into the strip. This after Israel came under growing global pressure to allow more supplies into the coastal territory. While its fight against Hamas continues, and there's also looming fear of famine in the region. The White House said that the additional aid from the US was on the way to Cyprus to be loaded onto the ships for delivery into Gaza via the new pier. US President Joe Biden said in a post on X, with the Palestinian people suffering, the need to get increased aid to the most vulnerable has become urgent. He said that the supply of more aid to Gaza by land will also continue. However, the Hamas-run government in Gaza accused Washington of trying to improve its ugly image with the pier. Hamas said that the US pier was not enough to meet the humanitarian needs and demanded greater aid shipments to the territory by land.
Now, so earlier today, I think you all know, the first shipments of humanitarian assistance arrived on the shores of Gaza through the multinational humanitarian maritime corridor that the president announced during his State of the Union address. As we speak, additional aid from the United States and other countries is arriving in Cyprus, where it will be screened by Israeli authorities and loaded onto ships for delivery via the maritime corridor, the temporary pier that we've been talking about. And here you can see trucks just today